So have you ever been in a conversation with a friend or maybe a customer and you feel like they're just not listening to you? Maybe you felt something like this.
All right, our special guest right now, Wayne Campbell, Garth Algar, Wayne's World. All right, talking about Waynestock. Very exciting, big event. Everybody's excited, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be a big concert at Adlai Stevenson Park.
Uh-huh.
It's just going to be a big party, you know. We got some great bands coming.
Uh-huh.
Like Aerosmith?
Uh-huh.
I just want to remind everybody that there's still plenty of tickets left.
Uh-huh.
But that's no reason to wait till the last minute.
Uh-huh.
Because it's just a chance for the city of Aurora
To do something.
Uh-huh.
fun
Uh-huh.
and to put the city on the map.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of work.
Oh, well, work is hard.
You're not really listening to me, are you?
Uh-huh.
I mean, I could say anything right now, like, you're a complete tool.
Mm-hmm.
But you wouldn't hear it, 'cause you're a freak with a microphone.
Uh-huh.
I love that clip. It's such a funny but true scenario of what you feel like when someone just isn't listening. Okay, now here's the real question. How many times have you been on the non-listening side of the equation? How many times have you played the handsome Dan role in the conversation? Maybe you were distracted, maybe your mind was somewhere else, maybe you were thinking of something else and you just weren't focused. Well, listen, if you're human, it's probably happened to you, and we're all guilty of it, and that's okay. Now, all of us need to get better at listening during conversations, asking, listening, and paying attention when we're talking with somebody. Asking questions and listening to answers are crucial parts to the selling process. Unless you do both of these effectively during a sale, you'll never know what the customer really wants. So many times, customers don't even know what they want or what they're saying or asking for. You play an important role just by asking the right types of questions and listening for the right amount of time. In this scenario, a customer comes into the store and asks for a brand name item, like a shirt. You could tell them that you only sell your store's specific products, which aren't the brand name for which they're asking, and that they might be able to find what they are looking for down the street at another store. You could do that, and then you would lose a potential sale. The fact is that as sales associates, we oftentimes sell ourselves and our products short by not asking specific questions that help us communicate with our customer. Customers tend to speak in generalities. What we perceive to be specific from customers many times is general. The moral of the story is that most of the time customers know what they're looking for, but most of the time they don't know how to ask for it, and that's when you come in. One of the most effective question asking techniques you can use is asking open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are questions the customer can't just answer a simple yes or no to. The whole point behind asking questions is to get the customer to open up, to start talking about themselves. You need as much information as you can get so you can start figuring out what the customer is looking for. A simple way to remember open-ended questions is they're questions that help the customer open up to you. Tell me a little about. Explain to me what you mean. Help me understand. What do you think about? What do you have in mind? All right, so we've seen how important it is to use the right kinds of questions when we're talking with customers. But using those awesome questions is going to be totally useless unless we understand how to listen to the responses of the customer. One listening technique that you can use while you're selling is the 10-90 rule. Now, this rule is really simple. It's honestly talking and asking the right amount of questions and the right questions for about 10% of the sale, and then listening to what they're talking about, what their needs are for 90% of the sale. You want your customer to open up to you. You need to find out what they're looking for. And that's why you want to talk for 10% of the sale and then listen for 90. Internationally renowned retail speaker, consultant, trainer, and author James E. Dion teaches us that the average human can process about 950 words per minute. The average human can speak about 150 words per minute. What do you think happens when we are listening to someone who is talking at 150 words per minute and we have all that space left over? In most cases, we use this leftover space to think of other things. What we're going to say back to that person, what we're going to do that night, how we're going to find time to count all that stock that just came in, etc. You get the point. Adding to those facts, the average person can listen to a 15-minute talk that is of great interest to them, and 10 minutes after the talk, remember about 10% of what was being said. As a sales associate, you need to develop an acute skill of being able to pay attention to what the customer is saying. Listen to them. You need to be doing the listening 90% of the time. Customers love it when they have your undivided attention. They want to feel like they are the only customer in the store. Maintain eye contact with them and call them by name. Internalize names of people in their family and where they're from. Incorporate those things during the sale. So, we've learned that you need to ask questions in order to really understand what the customer is looking for. We've learned about open-ended questions and how effective they can be. We talked about the 10-90 rule. Do you talk for 10? Listen for 90. Practice these skills in your sales training meetings, and your relationships with your customers and others will improve dramatically.